In this video, we'll learn how we can make such pattern in which numbers and stars are combined. In the last video, we have already did this number pattern, which is this one to print 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1 and so on. So now in this video, we'll add stars before each line and in first row and in last row also. Okay, so for that we'll use the same logic which we used for this pattern, and we did it using the for loop, but in this video we'll do it using the while loop. Okay, so here is our old program. Okay, so I'll show you the output. This was the output, but now we want that the stars should be placed here. Okay, so for that we'll make some changes. Okay, so for that, first of all, we'll add stars. If we see in this pattern, we need to put a star in this first column. Okay, so to put a star in this first column, or we can say to put a star in each row in first place. Okay, so for that we'll put a star just before this J. Okay, so as we can see over here, we have this as a J counter. Okay, so J counter we take over here to print these numbers 1, 2 and then 1. So in this J counter, before we start the J counter, we need to print a star, and after the J loop is finished, we again need to print the star. Okay, in both the portions, in this above portion as well as in the lower portion also. After the J loop is finished, we need to print a star, and when the J loop is initialized, we again need to print a star. Okay, so now we'll make some changes over here. We need to print a star before we start the J loop. So here we have system.out.print a star over here. Okay, so now we have placed a star. Now we need to copy this line, as we need to put the same line in the in the lower portion also. So we'll copy this line and we'll place it over here. Okay, now when we'll save the program and when we'll compile and again run this, we got the stars in the first row, I mean in first column. Okay, now we need to put stars in the last columns also. Okay, as you can see over here in this pattern, we are having stars after each J loop is finished, so we need to print the stars there also. Okay, so here in this, when we have changed the line, when we are changing the line after printing this one, we are changing the line. So with the line change, we also need to print the star. So here I'll add a star also. Okay, so here we'll print a star. Okay, and we'll do the same changes here also. We have double quotes and star. Okay, now when we save the program and when we again compile and run the program, we got the stars in this columns, first column and in last also. So as we have placed the star before the J loop and after this J loop, actually we have placed the star after the P loop, because when we have printed this whole thing, that is 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, after that we need to print the star. The J loop is still here, 1, 2 and 3. Okay, so this 2, 1, after this 2, 1 we need to print a star, so that's why we placed the star over here. Now we need to print the star in the first row and in the last row. We need to place a star before the I loop and after the whole program is finished. So we'll place a star over here, that is system.out.println and a star, and after the program is finished, after this last loop, we'll again place a star. So we have system.out.println a star. Okay, so now I'll save this and we'll again run this So first we'll compile this and then we'll again run it. So we got the star in this case and then in this case. Now in this case, as we are not taking the input from user. Here we are initializing the n variable with the value, constant value only. So to take input from user, we have three methods: scanner class, console class, and buffered reader class. So if we talk about the scanner class, if we use scanner class to take the input, first we need to import the package util in which the scanner class is present. Okay, so we'll write a statement over here that is import java.util.scanner. In this statement we have four words. The first word import, this is a keyword. Java is the main package and util is the sub package inside the Java main package, and scanner is a class. As this is written in title case, by title case I mean that the first letter of this scanner word is capital, which is S over here. Okay, so we have imported this scanner class which is present in util package. Now once we have imported this, now we need to make the object of the scanner class. Okay, so for that now I'll remove this statement and here we'll have the statement that is the scanner class. To make a object of some class, first we need to place the class name, which is scanner, and we need a variable or a reference variable we need to use. So we can use here sc or scan, scan, anything. Okay, so I'll use sc over here, and for that we need now a new variable to dynamically allocate memory to this object, to this reference variable sc. Okay, so now we have the new keyword. Now we have the scanner class and we'll call its constructor and we'll pass in system.in. This system.in is similar to standard input which was present in C. In C we're having standard input and standard output. So similarly in Java we have system.in and system.out. System.in for keyboard to take input and system.out for output, that is monitor. Okay, so we'll pass in system.in. Okay, now our object is created. Now we need to take the input from user. So for that on console we'll print to enter a number. So here we have the line that is system.out.println enter a number. Okay, now we need to take the input from user, so we would be requiring this sc variable. Okay, so here we'll write n is equals to sc dot next int. We have this next int is a method. As you can see over here, next int is written in camel case. By camel case I mean that suppose as this word is having two words, that is next is one word and int is second word. So the first word is having its first letter as small, but the second word will have its first letter as capital. So just suppose if I take here a variable name, that is, suppose I take here the Sublime text editor. Okay, so if I write like this, we have S capital, then we have SUBLIME in small, and then we have T in capital, and then we have EXT in small, then we have editors E capital, and then we have the rest of the spelling in small. Here we have the editor. So this is called as title case. But if I write over here S small, that is, I write the first word in small, which is Sublime, and then from second word I start writing in title case. This is called as the camel case. So here the first word is small, but from second word we have the first letter capital. So here it is like this. In text we have T capital, and in editors E is capital, and the rest of the spelling is again small. Okay, so this is called as camel case and this first one is called as title case. Okay, so as this next int is written in camel case, so this is a method, not a class. Okay, so this sc object or a sc variable is calling this method next int. We have two more methods, that is next line or next method and next float. As per our requirement, we'll use them all, and I'll discuss this input in Java in detail in further videos also. Okay, so here we have this next int as we are taking a number that is of integer type. And yes, so now I'll save this program, and now when we'll again run our program, so first we'll compile this, and when we'll run this we need to enter a number. Suppose I give 6 over here, so we'll get the values till 6. You can see 6 in this line. Now if I again run this program, and this time I gave input 3, so we'll get only 3. Okay, so this is the program using the for loop. Now we'll change it in while loop, so we just need to make some simple changes. As you can see over here, first we'll change this I loop. The I loop is going from 1 till n with increment in each value. So here we have the while keyword while, and inside this we can't initialize some value, so we need to initialize I is equals to 1 before we start the while loop. So here we have I is equals to 1, and inside that we have the same condition, and this increment value also we need to place it inside this while loop after we have printed this last star. So after this we need to increment I by 1. Okay, now if in this last code also we'll change this value. Here the for keyword will be changed to while keyword. Inside this we'll initialize I is equals to n minus 1. So we need to do the initialization just before it. So here we have I is equals to n minus 1, and we need to decrement I by 1 also. So we need to decrement I by 1. So we'll do it inside this while loop. So here we have I minus minus. Okay, now we need to change these two for loops present inside this. So for this one, here again we'll change this for keyword to while keyword, and we initialize j is equals to 1. Okay, so here we have j is equals to 1, and we'll increment j by 1. So I'll remove it from here, and inside this we'll increment j by 1. Okay, now this for loop will again change this one. So here we have the while keyword, p will be initialized from I minus 1, so we'll remove it from here, and here we have p is equals to I minus 1 semicolon, and inside this the condition and decrement p by 1. So here we'll decrement p by 1. Okay, so here we have p minus minus. Okay, so this loop is done. Now we need to change this loops. So here also we'll remove the for keyword, and here we'll replace it by while. We'll again initialize j by 1 inside this while loop. So here we have j is equals to 1 outside the while loop, and inside this we need to increment j by 1. So right after this we have j plus plus. We'll save this, and yes, also this loop is left, so we'll change it with while keyword. We'll initialize p with I minus 1. So here we have p is equals to I minus 1. Inside this we need to decrement p by 1. So here we have p minus minus. Okay, now we need to save this, and now we'll again run our program. So here we have compilation, and then we'll run it. Now I suppose I enter the number 10. So here is our perfect output, and here in this line you can see we are having n is equals to 10. Okay, suppose now we rerun our program, and this time I gave 3. Yes, so we got this. That's it for this video. Thank you everyone.